The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Well, welcome to tonight's Weyburn City Council for Monday, May 12th at 6 o'clock. So we'll call the meeting to order. We'll make note right away that Councillor Janke is unable to join us tonight. Also welcome our youth mayor, Jackson Stadnick, to join us tonight. Welcome, Jackson. We've got quite a bit of work to do tonight, some big items. We need to do some work on the police station roof, mill rate, and tax bylaw tonight. Second and third reading of waterworks and sewer, and I think we're going to spend about $1 million on asphalt before we go home tonight. So we've got lots of work to do. Let's get to work. I will call for a motion right away to, or I guess question first. Any additions to the agenda? Administration?
Yeah, Your Worship, there's no additions tonight from administration.
Council? None? Thank you. So we'll look for a motion to approve the minutes from April 28th.
I think I gave that one to Councillor Bador.
I'll make the motion to approve the regular council meeting and the strategic planning and priorities meeting held April 28th, 2025 be approved.
Great. I'll second that, Your Worship. Thank you. Any commentary or changes or additions need to be made to those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. No public hearings or notices tonight, so it's on to delegations, proclamations, and petitions, and we have that. This is Economic Development Week. So, whereas the province of Saskatchewan has declared May 12th to 17th, 2025 as Economic Development Week in Saskatchewan and May 12th as Indigenous Economic Development Day, whereas community and economic developers promote economic well-being and quality of life for their communities by creating, retaining, and expanding businesses that facilitate growth, enhance wealth, and provide a stable tax base, and whereas community and economic developers stimulate and incubate entrepreneurism in order to help establish the next generation of new businesses, which is the foundation of the Saskatchewan economy. And whereas community and economic developers are engaged in a wide variety of settings, including rural and urban, local, First Nation, provincial, and federal governments, public-private partnerships, chambers of commerce, universities, and a variety of other institutions. And whereas community and economic developers attract and retain high-quality jobs, develop vibrant communities, and improve the quality of life in their regions. And whereas community and economic developers work in the city of Weyburn within the province of Saskatchewan, and now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor and Council of Weyburn do hereby recognize May 12th to 17th, 2025 as Economic Development Week. Thank you. Do a picture after? Do it later? At the end? Or do you want to do it now? Do it now. Now it is. Sorry, I should have planned that out in advance. Do it. You're pretty good at this. Okay, thank you. That was Monica Osborne, the executive. Oh, do you want to come up and say something? Sure. Okay, great.
Thank you, Your Worship, members of Council, and City Administration. On behalf of Weyburn Regional Economic Development, I want to thank the City of Weyburn for recognizing May 12th to 17th as Economic Development Week. Economic development is more than just a business attraction. It's about creating opportunities for people to succeed, whether that's starting a new business, finding meaningful work, or choosing Weyburn as a place to call home. It's about building a strong, vibrant community where investment, innovation, and quality of life go hand in hand. This week, we encourage residents, businesses, and community partners to learn more about what economic development means and the positive impact it has on our region. We also invite you to visit our website, weyburneconomicdevelopment.com, or stop by our office, 11 3rd Street, to explore the resources we have to offer, from our community profile and host your event guide to our new residents guide. Thank you for your continued support and commitment to grow a strong future for Weyburn.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on. Reports of standing committees. So do any councillors have any updates to your committees or anything you'd like to share? No? Administration, anything? Nope. All right, let's move on. Next up is the consent agenda. So this is the Building Department report, Public Works report, and a Water Treatment Plant report, if I could get a motion for that.
Your Worship, I'll make the motion that the following items on the consent agenda be approved. Building Department report, Public Works report, Water Treatment Plant report.
Seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Any commentary, questions? Yes, Councillor Bador.
I just wanted to highlight in the Public Works report, they're starting to keep track of how much tonnage they're putting into potholes.
Yes.
And I know this is a big topic around Weyburn, and we got a asphalt RFP coming up in this meeting. But so far in April, I think they did 28 tons. I read, or 46 tons. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then all together so far this year, they're up to 280 tons of filling potholes. So yeah, they're out there. They're working hard. We don't have enough money to pave every street in Weyburn, but they're doing the best they can with the resources we have.
Well said. Thanks for pointing that out. I was going to do the same to the Director of Engineering. Do you have any kind of a concept of how much tonnage was put out last year? Nowhere near this amount. Is that correct? I know I sprung that on you unknowing.
For small potholes, we'd be probably around the same, but not including the large dig outs and utility digs. It's not quite up to the same amount we put in last year yet.
Yet. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry about springing that on you. Okay.
No, that's okay.
Anything else out of those reports? Okay, hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. As always, those items are on the city website. Next up is accounts payable. I think there isn't a report for that. Is that right? There is. There is? Okay. Sorry, John. Councillor Corrigan? Yep.
Would you like my motion?
I would love it, if you're willing.
Your Worship, I would move that the purchases from April 1st, 2025 to April 30th, 2025 in the amount of $1,615,800.25 be approved for payment. The purchases include quick pays of $20,486.18, accounts payable $1,016,578.31, direct withdrawals of $575,320.59, and debit card transactions of $3,415.17.
Thank you. Seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Any questions on that? Hearing none, call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Next up, we will lean on Director of Leisure Services Henning for an update on the police station roof.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship and councillors. So a bit of background, the Weyburn Police Station roof was assessed in July 2024 as part of a citywide roof assessment program. When the roof was assessed, it was considered no longer serviceable and beyond serviceable life. It's common to have water leaking to the inside of the building when snow melts or we have moderate rain events. So request for proposal, RMIS Engineering was engaged to provide project design, project management services for a roof replacement and fall protection tendering process. The RFP was posted on our city website, our bids and tenders, on our city website, our bids and tenders portal, and on RMIS's engineering portal on April 18th, 2025. The closing date for acceptance of submittals was May 5th, 2025. The bid process included a mandatory site visit with RMIS, city representative, myself, on April 24th. A total of 6 companies attended the site walk and took part in discussions surrounding the project. Upon closing, a total of 4 companies submitted a bid. All 4 bidders met the stipulated requirements of completion date, subcontractor list being provided, bid security, consent of surety, warranty letter, insurance certificate, and WCB release. The bids that came in were in order of lowest to highest. Flynn Canada for a total of $685,000. JR & Co. Roofing Contractors for a total of $727,527. Atlas Apex Roofing for $956,199. And Clark Roofing for $1,047,907. There was a capital budget allowance of $725,000 for the project. The total budget was to cover the fixed professional fees and the construction costs. I make the recommendation upon the review of the bid submittals to this project that the project be awarded to Flynn Canada for the project cost of $685,000, which is $726,100 with PST. Recommendation encompasses an approval for a budget increase of $31,832.58, or 4.39%, to cover professional fees and construction costs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A motion?
Your Worship, I'll make the motion that we award the project to Flynn Canada Limited for a projected cost of $685,000. That's $726,100 with PST. This recommendation encompasses an approval for a budget increase of $31,832.58, or 4.39%, to cover professional fees and construction, which will come from the general operating budget.
Okay, and a seconder?
Your Worship, I'll second that motion.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Director Henning? No, yeah, Councilor Bador.
Thanks for the report, Richard. Just wondering, RMIS, they did the build of it, and what is the fall protection piece, and how, when we do a bid like this, my thought was the company would just do the work and we'd be good to go. So what is their involvement with afterwards, and maybe touch on the fall protection piece a little bit too?
Yeah, absolutely, Councilor Bador. So RMIS Engineering, their specialty is on flat roof work. They're much more specialized in this than any other, myself or anybody else in the facilities and leisure team. So we engage with them. What they do beyond just the design and tender is they're going to come to site a total of 6 times, and they're going to do inspections on the installation of the roof to make sure it's done as per design and as per the manufacturer's recommendation, which then the manufacturer will then give us a warranty certificate. So they take extra steps to ensure that the contractor is meeting all the demands. The life safety portion of this job is to install a control zone around the perimeter of the building, which does meet OH&S requirements then for any workers going up on the roof, that we're not going within within 2 meters of the edge of a building and putting the workers in danger. And we're also moving a ladder access onto the roof from an area of the building which is inaccessible for doing maintenance work to the large bay area where we can come up safely and then have a landing spot to get tools and maintenance stuff up onto the roof space.
Thank you for that. Just one other follow-up there, just around the life of the building. I know I think in conversation we said it was built in '86, which seems not that long ago, but I guess I'm 40-ish. So, but what does this extend the life of the building, or is it just part of a maintenance piece?
Yes, this would be. Keeping up on your roofs is a maintenance item for a building. So making sure that roof is intact and serviceable is going to protect the rest of the building and the contents inside. If we have leakage through a roof structure, that's going to affect the integrity of the walls and all of the subsystems underneath. So yes, this will increase the life expectancy of the roof, because left as is, there's already water penetration, so we want to prevent that. And yeah.
Councilor Higgs?
I guess when I read no longer serviceable in the package, Can you help me understand what you're getting at there? To me, that means that it's in disrepair, we never looked at it, it's just a disaster, and that can't be the case.
Correct. It's not from a lack of maintenance, it's just from the age and style of the roof. When you're up on the roof space, it's a big flat roof, tar laid out, and it's all started to blister. So we've got big blister boils, so if you're up there on the roof, you have like big pockets, almost like air pockets. But in the winter time, if the weight of the snow, when those are hardened and frozen, the weight of the snow can crack those and create cracks in that SBS layer. And then we just have water infiltration from there. It's really hard to do maintenance or any work on the roof because you have to avoid stepping on any of these blisters. And then as those blisters swell up, it actually pulls the 2 layers of SBS that are overlapped away from each other, thus just leaving cracks and places for water to penetrate.
Other questions? Nope. All right. Hearing none, then we'll call the question. All in favor? Thank you very much for that. On now to the asphalt program RFP, Director of Engineering Cugnett.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the 2025 asphalt program was divided into 9 parts based on location and budget allocations. The City of Weyburn has unallocated $1,105,000, including PST, for the 2025 asphalt program from the following budgets. Part 1, $700,000 was budgeted for asphalt repairs and rehabilitation under the Infrastructure Revitalization Program. Parts 2 to 6 and 8 to 9, there was $370,000 budgeted under the Public Works General Operating Fund for asphalt maintenance and repairs. Part 7, there was $35,000 budgeted under the Parks General Operating Fund for the asphalt rehabilitation of the Tattagway Parkway Trail. On March 28, 2025, a request for proposal for the 2025 asphalt resurfacing program was posted on the city's online bidding portal, Bids and Tenders, SAS Tenders, and the city's website. Proposals were to be received by the City of Weyburn by April 28th at 1 p.m. A total of 3 proposals were received. Proposals submitted were reviewed to ensure bidders understood the scope of work involved, met the RFP requirements, and to ensure the project delivery schedule could be met. All proposals met the full requirements. The qualifying bids are summarized below and include PST. So our bidders were Genco Asphalt, Torrent Energy Services, and Potsis Paving and Road Maintenance. The city clearly stated on the RFP that the city retains the right to award each part separately, although it would be preferred to award all parts together as one project if not constrained by budget implications. Genco submitted the low bid for Part 1, Part 6, and Part 7, which were both within the allocated budgets for those parts. Torrent submitted the low bid for Parts 2 to 5, Part 8, and Part 9, which were also within the allotted budgets for those parts. It is recommended to award Genco Asphalt Inc. Part 1, Part 6, and Part 7 for a total of $477,572.19, including PST, and to award Torrent Energy Services Inc. Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Part 8, and Part 9 for a total of $367,337.70, including PST.
Good, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can we get a motion for this?
Thanks, Your Worship. I would like to make a motion that Council award Genco Asphalt Inc. Part 1, Part 6, and Part 7 for a total of $477,572.19, including PST, and to award Torrent Energy Services Inc. Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Part 8, and Part 9 for a total of $367,337.70, including PST.
Thank you. And a seconder, please.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Okay. Questions for the Director of Engineering, Councillor Higgs?
When do they start, and can you get it all done this year?
Yes, so Genco proposed starting on 5th Avenue North in early to mid-August, following the hospital parking lot paving, and they're proposing about 14 working days. So yeah, that's very, very likely to get done within that proposed schedule. And then the repair areas, they're all proposed to start within that mid-June and are another about 2 working weeks time. With two different contractors doing the work, they will also be able to work simultaneously. And then government road bridge repair, that's can start as early as the end of May here, in advance of the Highway 39 and Highway 13 detours being put into place that will be utilizing Highway 35 there. And then otherwise, we may have to push that one back to later in September. So our goal is to try to get that one for right away here in May. Yeah.
Any other questions? Councillor Morissette.
Thank you, Worship. Renee, both of these companies that we're awarding tonight, they're fairly local people?
Yep, Genco Asphalt is from Estevan and has worked in the city of Weyburn for a few years now, and Torrent Energy is also based out of the Weyburn area surrounding Weyburn, in the RM of Weyburn actually, so yeah.
Awesome, thank you. It's just great to see local companies staying within Weyburn to do the jobs.
Absolutely.
Councillor Corrigan.
Thank you, Your Worship. Director Corrigan, I noticed that, and correct me if I'm wrong, if my math is off, but that this bid comes in under the allocated amount within the budget. So there's an additional amount of money that could be spent on additional projects. Is that being considered at all?
Absolutely. So it did come in about $260,000 under budget, and I'm very optimistic that we'll be able to come to an agreement with the Ministry of Highways to get some funding to go towards King Street. So it could go towards that, and if not, we will have to do some major repairs to King Street there until we can get funding. So we're definitely thinking about how we can allocate that money for sure.
Excellent, thank you.
Yep.
Councillor Bador.
Councillor Corrigan stole my thunder a little bit there. So the Urban Highway Connector Program, I know that we've been maybe a little delayed on an answer. If we were to get an answer of yes, how much do we budget for that piece to do that, and how do we tackle that if we do?
So we do have a budgeted number in our 2025 budget that was submitted in previous years in a previous expression of interest. So I did take the opportunity to submit an updated budget in the case that we are considered, as our expression of interest was backlogged. They weren't taking new expressions of interest for this construction year because they were reviewing backlogged ones. So I do have an updated cost estimate in with them that they are still considering. So that being said, we would likely have to utilize a good portion of this $260,000 if we were to get funding for my new budget, or my new cost estimate, sorry.
And the split right now is 70-30 currently, isn't it? Correct? Yeah.
Yeah, for the King Street connector, that we will get up to 70% funding from the province for that that portion of connector. Yeah.
Good, thank you. Councillor Sidlowski.
Mine's not a question, but just a note for the public that all of our projects are on the City of Weyburn website. There's an infrastructure revitalization program portion, and it reviews all of the upcoming projects and all of the previous projects from the past few years.
Thanks for that. Yeah. Just one point of clarification. You said it. I just want to make sure that I understood it right and that it's understood properly. The Fifth Avenue work won't commence until they've completed the paving of the hospital parking lot. Is that what I heard you say?
Yes, that is correct. So there is some repair work to do around the hospital entrance as well. So that work will be coordinated when the contractor comes to do the parking lot, and then just to make sure that we can maintain at least one access into the hospital site at all times. So yeah, right now it's proposed for around that early to mid-August for that work. Yeah.
Good. Good. That seems like the right order of events to do things.
Yeah. After school too. After the schools are done for the summer, so should be good.
Agreed. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. If there's nothing else, good work. Thank you very much for this. I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. All right. We're moving right along. Okay. Introduction of bylaws. First up is the mill rate factor and base tax bylaw. We'll turn that over to the Director of Finance.
Thank you. So as per section 255 and 259 of the Cities Act, this Council of the City of Weyburn may pass bylaws to set mill rates, mill rate factors, and base tax for the property tax classes and subclasses within the City of Weyburn. Rates are set yearly based on Council's strategic objectives and the Council's approved annual budget. So 2025 was a revaluation year with the SAMA assessment, which affects the mill rates applied to each class. Typically, in a revaluation year, the City of Weyburn strives to have an increase in tax percentage based on the budget and adjusts the mill rates accordingly. The calculations don't always result in an increase in mill rate at the same rate as the tax percentage, and some classes will result in a decrease in mill rate, while others will have an increase at a higher amount. So SEMA has provided the City of Weyburn with the updated assessments, and the results are below. So as you can see, some classes have increased by quite a bit and some have decreased. So we have taken those into account when we applied our mill rates. So administration presents the below 2025 mill rates and base tax with a uniform mill rate of 10.457 mils. And in conclusion, administration recommends council give 3 readings and pass the bylaw 2025-3499, a bylaw to establish mill rate factors for classes, subclasses of land and improvements, and to provide for base tax of the City of Weyburn for 2025, and 3 readings and pass bylaw 2025-3500, a bylaw to fix rates for taxation of the City of Weyburn for 2025.
Good. Thank you. Okay, so we will start with 3499, if we could get first reading.
Your Worship, I move that council give first reading to bylaw 2025-3499, being a bylaw to establish mill rate factors for classes, subclasses of land and improvements, and to provide for base tax for the City of Weyburn for 2025.
Great. No seconder? I'll second that, Your Worship. Thank you very much. Okay, so any questions of the Director of Finance or direction or any more clarity needed before we move on? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? That's carried. Look for second reading.
Your Worship, I move that council give a second reading to bylaw 2025-3499, being a bylaw to establish mill rate factors for classes, subclasses, and land improvements, and to provide for base tax of the City of Weyburn for 2025.
I'll second that, Your Worship. Thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? It's carried.
And if you're not tired of me yet, I'd like to move that council give the, council agrees to give the third and final reading today to bylaw 2025-3499, being a bylaw to establish a mill rate for factors for classes, subclasses, and land improvements, and to provide for the base tax for the City of Weyburn for 2025.
And a seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay. Third reading. No, sorry, I thought we did 2, then 1 to do the third. Agreed. Yeah. So now there'll be the third reading.
So you are sick of me officially right now.
No, I'm not, but you appear to be.
Move that council give the third reading and pass bylaw 2025-3499, being a bylaw to establish mill rate factors for classes, subclasses, and land improvements and to provide the base tax for the city of Weyburn for 2025.
Okay, and a seconder.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Okay, any final commentary on this before we vote? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we will go on to 2025-3500.
I'm sorry, Councillor Bedore. I really am. I'll take this one now. I'll make the motion that council gives the first reading to bylaw 2025-3500, being a bylaw to fix rates for taxation for the city of Weyburn for 2025.
And a seconder?
Your worship, I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Okay, on this one, any questions or commentary? Hearing none, call the question. All in favor? That is carried.
Your worship, I'll make the motion that council gives second reading to bylaw 2025-3500, being a bylaw to fix rates for taxation for the city of Weyburn for 2025.
I will second that motion, your worship.
Thank you. All in favor? That's carried.
Your worship, I'll make the motion that council agrees to give third reading today to bylaw 2025-3500, being a bylaw to fix rates for the taxation for the city of Weyburn for 2025.
Thank you.
I will second that motion also, your worship.
Okay. Any questions on what we're doing there with that one? Want to make sure everybody's okay? Yeah. All in favor? That's carried.
Just because I want to have 4 times. I'll make the motion that council gives third reading and pass bylaw 2025-3500, being a bylaw to fix rates for taxation for the city of Weyburn for 2025.
Seconder?
I will second that motion also, your
Thank you,
worship.
Councillor Corrigan. Thank you, Councillor Morissette and Councillor Bedore. That's an awful lot of reading tonight. One last go around. Any questions or comments on this before we call the final question? Nope. Okay. All in favor? That is carried. I will point out that normally we don't like to do 3 readings in one night. We did it here tonight on these 2 particular ones because there is a timing piece that has to happen. On the next ones, we'll note that we didn't do that. Okay, so let's move on to unfinished business. And these are 2 bylaws that came up at the last set of meetings, last council meeting, I should say. This is Waterworks and Sewer. So to the Director of Engineering, if there's an update.
Thank you, Your Worship. There's an update. I will read the report again. The City of Weyburn has a Waterworks Bylaw 2024-3485 and Sewer Service Bylaw 2024-3486 that regulate and levy fees or charges for the utility services. The City of Weyburn currently has water and sewer rates established until December 31st, 2027. The City of Weyburn provides the following utility services: water and sewer for the City of Weyburn and North Weyburn, and water for the Weyburn Utility Board. Utility rates are designed to cover the operations, treatment, storage, and distribution, and capital projects related to water quality and regulatory requirements. All operations for utilities are funded through utility fees and utility grants. Taxation does not contribute to the cost of utilities. The water and wastewater service charges are based on water meter. The water, wastewater, and infrastructure volumetric charges are based on consumption. The base charge is to ensure a certain minimum revenue to deliver the service. Many of the City of Weyburn's utility systems are nearing end of design life and are in need of substantial repair and/or rehabilitation. As the costs of materials, labor, and technology continue to rise, the current methods of funding these capital projects, which is primarily dependent on general revenue and the occasional government funding grant, is insufficient. The tables below show the list of capital utility projects that require rehabilitation. So in 2025, we have about $5.6 million in capital utility projects planned, and then the next 5 years, another $10 million. To address these challenges and to avoid continuous deferred maintenance on the city's utility systems, the engineering department is proposing the introduction of a $10 per month infrastructure fee. This flat fee would be applied to all utility users within the city of Weyburn and would generate a dedicated revenue stream, approximately $468,000 per year, to the utility budget specifically for funding capital utility projects. This fee could be reviewed and adjusted over time as the community needs and project priorities change. In September 2024, Council approved Bylaw 2024-3485 and 2024-3486, which set the water and sewer rates for 2025, 2026, and 2027. The following table is an example of the monthly charges for a typical City of Weyburn property with a 5/8 utility service, which shows the monthly increase in fees of $6.68 in 2025 and $7.23 in 2026 and 2027. With the introduction of a $10 per month infrastructure fee, these rate increases would be $16.68 and $17.23 respectively. The engineering department has conducted a full review of both utility bylaws and are proposing the following additional changes. So in the Waterworks bylaw, some revisions were made to the definitions, some replacement and clarification around the city's responsibilities and homeowners' responsibilities for the Water Sewer Service Connection Fund, some updated grammar, as well as some removal of outdated fees that the city no longer provides services for, and then changes to Schedule A with the addition of the $10 per month fee. And then for the sewer services, all pretty much the same changes with the additional section clarifying parameters for the discharge of clear water waste, and prohibiting the discharge of clear water waste into a location that causes adverse effects to adjacent property. And then the same changes to Schedule A with the removal of outdated fees that the city no longer provides services for, as well as the $10 per month infrastructure fee to all City of Weyburn services. Council gave first reading to Bylaw 2025-3497 and Bylaw 2025-3498 at the April 28, 2025 regular council meeting. So it is recommended that Council repeals Bylaw 2024-3485 for water and 2024-3486 sewer, and that Council gives second and third readings for Bylaw 2025-3497, being a bylaw to regulate the use of waterworks and the levying of fees or charges, and that Council gives the second and third readings for Bylaw 2025-3498, being a bylaw to regulate the use of sewer service and the levying of fees or charges.
Thank you. That was a lot. Lots of reading tonight. Okay, let's do 3497 first then, if we have those motions.
Thank you, Your Worship. I make a motion that Council gives second reading to Bylaw 2025-3497, being a bylaw to regulate the use of waterworks and the levying of fees or charges.
Thank you.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is our opportunity to ask questions or have any input here. Anybody? I know we just went, yep, Councillor Bador.
Not really any question, just I did hear some feedback from the public, and I don't think anybody comes and gives you a pat on the back for raising stuff by $10, but I think we as a group have been committed, administration and council and everybody, is we need to get some work done here, and we can't keep on kicking the stone down the road, because it's either pay now or pay dearly later, and I think I'd rather pay now, and I know it's tough on everyone, but it's a decision I believe we have to make.
Yep, thank you. Councillor Corrigan?
I would echo those sentiments. You can't ignore the infrastructure within your city. I think if anything, the situation in Calgary earlier this year showed us that, or last year, I believe it was last summer, and the detrimental effects it had on their city, and it was devastating for them for the entire year, and to have to deal with that, and I don't want to see us end up in that position. So this is a necessary step to continue to maintain and improve the infrastructure within the city.
Yep, thank you. Councillor Higgs?
And just to add to that comment, the idea that the money is absolutely 100% earmarked for that infrastructure and can't be used for anything else, I think should give somewhat of a satisfaction to taxpayers.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else? No. Yeah, no, I would echo all of that as well. As well said. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Third reading.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to make a motion that Council give third reading and pass bylaw 2025-3497, being a bylaw to regulate the use of waterworks and the levying of fees or charges.
I will second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. All right. If there's nothing else, we'll just call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. All right, now let's go on to 3498.
Your Worship, I would move that Council give second reading to bylaw 2025-3498, being a bylaw to regulate the use of sewer service and the levying of fees or charges.
Thank you. Can we get a seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Any comments or questions on this one? Yep, Councillor Morissette.
Thank you, Your Worship. Director Condon, thank you so much for all of this. I know that we've been working on this kind of on and off for a long time. If people have questions about the Clearwater discharge, I know that's something that, you've had to curb just so that we can preserve our sewer system. But if they have questions, can they call the engineering department?
Absolutely. They can never hesitate to call the engineering department or Public Works, and it can be transferred accordingly to what details or information they're looking for. So yeah, for sure.
Great, thank you. Anything else? All right, hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Third reading.
Your Worship, I would move that Council gives third reading and pass bylaw 2025-3498, being a bylaw to regulate the use of sewer service and the levying of fees or charges.
Thank you.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. And if there's nothing else, then we'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. So we are done with number 9. Do we have to repeal a bylaw here?
No, it's already listed in the
It's in
bylaw.
there?
Yeah.
Perfect, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, on to new business. First up is the Weyburn Pride Committee. The City Clerk Clay, please.
Okay. The City of Weyburn has a flag raising policy that establishes guidelines for raising flags in front of City Hall. In previous years, City Council has also approved crosswalk painting as part of Pride Week activities. A request has been received from the Weyburn Pride Committee to have a flag raising event on Monday, June 16, 2025 to promote Pride Month in Canada. City administration has reviewed the application and it meets the requirements of the flag raising policy as Pride Month is recognized by the federal government each June. In addition to the flag raising, a request has also been received from the Weyburn Pride Committee to paint rainbow crosswalks at the intersections of 3rd Street and Souris Avenue. The painting is proposed for the evening of Sunday, June 15th, starting at 6:30 p.m. Council options. So option 1 is that Council approve the Pride Committee's request to have a Pride flag raised outside of City Hall from Monday, June 16th to Sunday, June 22nd, and further that Council approve the Weyburn Pride Committee's request to paint the rainbow crosswalks at 3rd Street and Souris Avenue on Sunday, June 15th with no conditions. Option 2 is that Council approve the Pride Committee's request to have a flag raised outside City Hall from June 16th to June 22nd, and further that Council approve the Pride Committee's request to paint the rainbow crosswalks at 3rd Street and Souris Avenue on June 15th with the following conditions. That the Pride Committee will work with City Public Works to ensure appropriate traffic safety measures are in place, including the use of barricades at the time of painting, and that all costs associated with the painting of the crosswalks will be the responsibility of the organization. Option number 3 would be that council does not approve the Pride Committee's request, and the councillor making the motion for refusal should provide reasons for the applicant's refusal in their motion. My recommendation is that council approve option number 2 with the conditions listed above.
All right, thank you very much. We get a motion?
Your worship, as this reflects our vision of a community for all, I'm more than happy to make the motion that council approve the Weyburn Pride Committee's request to have a pride flag raising outside of City Hall from Monday, June the 16th to Sunday, June 22nd, and further that council approve the Weyburn Pride Committee's request to paint the rainbow crosswalks at 3rd Street and Souris Avenue Sunday, June 15th, 2025, subject to the conditions listed.
Thank you. And a seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Any comments or questions on this one? None? I only have, and I think it's probably in here, just maybe not explicitly, there's some controls around traffic that day of the painting. Are there controls around the product that's used to do the painting? I remember, I think, at one point there was, that paint was to be approved maybe by Public Works, and maybe that's not important anymore. I think at one time they had some consternation around what kind of paint was being put down.
Yeah, I can answer that, Your Worship.
Thanks.
So yeah, they work closely with our Public Works Department.
Yeah.
I know that this will be the 4th time
Yeah.
we've had this installed.
Yeah.
And they've always worked with our Public Works Department with that. I have not heard anything about concerns with the paint or anything like that. And then in regards to the traffic controls, it is listed as a condition to ensure that they fulfill that within that date when they do that, and they'll work closely with our Public Works Department for that.
Oh, very good. Thank you. And kind of coincidental, earlier today we had a meeting with Youth Council, 2 o'clock this afternoon, and one of the items that came up was the history of this particular initiative that actually started in Youth Council. So we have our youth mayor here tonight. That's awesome. So we've kind of come full circle on this. All right, if there's nothing else, then I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. All right, now a couple of home-based businesses. So we will get the director or planning and development coordinator, Malcolm. Please and thank you.
Thank you. An application has been received from Anita Sorensen to operate an online store for houseplants outside of their residence at 969 Sleazett Crescent, located in the R1 zone. This would be considered a controversial use as the business involves clients being directed to the home throughout the day. The proposed hours of operation are Monday to Friday at varying times, typically from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The applicant anticipates minimal traffic increase with at least 1 vehicle per appointment, and driveway parking is available. The zoning bylaw requires that controversial home-based businesses, which involves clients attending the home, go through the neighborhood notice process and receive council approval. Neighborhood notices were mailed out on April 24th, 2025 to all neighbors within 50 meters of the applicant's home. Residents receiving the notice were given the opportunity to comment on the application, and no concerns or objections were received. Home-based businesses are a permitted use, meaning that landowners have the right to undertake the use in accordance with the bylaw, unless provisions of the bylaw are specifically contravened. Home-based businesses generally must meet the following provisions: be incidental to the use of the premises as a residence, be compatible with residential uses, be limited in extent in terms of volume of material sold and number of clients, not substantially increase the volume of traffic, and not detract from the residential character of the zone. The use identified would be considered a controversial occupation under Section 5.1.19 of the zoning bylaw, as clients will be directed to the home. Staff have reviewed the application and are of the opinion that the home-based business application meets the requirements in the zoning bylaw, therefore are recommending option 1 to council. So option 1, council approves home-based business permit 2025.006 at 969 Slezak Crescent, subject to the following conditions. No person other than the resident of the dwelling shall be engaged in the home-based business as an employee or volunteer. No advertisement carrying the address of the dwelling in which the home-based business occurs. The home-based business shall not occupy more than 25% of the gross floor area of the dwelling. The face of any home-based business sign on site must not exceed 0.092 meters squared and must be placed within the inside half of the front yard setback. This permit is only valid for the above address and is non-transferable to another address. Reapplication will be required if the business moves location. Home-based businesses are subject to periodic review to ensure compliance. Applicant's driveway shall be used for off-street parking of clients, and a City of Weyburn business license shall be obtained prior to the operation of the business. Option 2, refusal of the home-based business permit 2025.006 at 969 Slezak Crescent for the following reasons. A permitted use must have a reason for refusal. And as mentioned, staff recommend option 1 for council.
Great, thank you. All right, can we get a motion for this?
Worship, I'll make the motion that council approves home-based business permit number 2025.006 at 969 Slezak Crescent, subject to the conditions listed in the report.
Right, and a seconder.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. All right, any questions from council? Yes, Councilor Corrigan.
Thank you, Your Worship. I don't normally have a lot of questions about home-based businesses because I'm in favor of any type of business that opens up. But this one raised some questions in my mind, with it being houseplants. Now, are these real plants or are they artificial plants? And if they're real plants, is this individual a distributor or are they growing them at their residence? And if so, does that still meet the criteria for a home-based business?
So yes, they are real plants, and my understanding is that she is growing them outside of her home. It's a limited number of plants that she'll have available, and she will be advertising online where people can order online, and then they can come to the home to pick up the plants. So, yeah.
I'm just thinking, you know, the volume of plants could grow. Pardon the pun. Exponentially, depending on the success of the business, and that might lead to whether that does still abide by the bylaws of a home-based business or not. Just wonder if this has been taken under consideration by the individual or...
Yeah, so it is something that we did discuss, and with all home-based businesses, we do monitor them. So if it is where we see that it is growing or going outside of the bylaw, then we will review their permit and have a discussion with the applicant.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? All right. We'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. One more for our Planning and Development Coordinator. Thank you, Shirley.
Okay. An application has been received from Deidre Cameron to operate a massage therapy home-based business outside of their residence at 454 7th Street, also located in the R2 zone. The proposed hours of operation are Monday to Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and the applicant anticipates a moderate traffic increase with at least one vehicle per appointment, and driveway parking is also available for this. Neighborhood notices were mailed out on April 25th, 2025 to all neighbors within 50 meters of the applicant's home. Residents receiving the notice were given the opportunity to comment on the application, and no concerns or objections were received. So we have two options available for council. Option 1, council approves the home-based business permit 2025.007 at 454 5th Street, subject to the following conditions. No person other than the resident of the dwelling shall engage in the business. No advertisement carrying the address of the dwelling in which the home-based business occurs may be placed in any media. The home-based business shall not occupy more than 25% of the gross floor area. The face of the home-based business sign on site must not exceed 0.92 meters squared. The permit is only valid for the above address and is non-transferable to another address. The home-based businesses are subject to review and compliance to ensure compliance. The applicant's driveway shall be used for off-street parking, and a Weyburn business license shall be obtained prior to the operation of the home-based business. Option 2, refusal of the home-based business permit 2025.007 at 454 5th Street for the following reasons. A permitted use must have a reason for refusal, and staff is recommending option 1, that council approves home-based business permit 2025.007 at 454 5th Street, subject to the conditions listed above.
Thank you. Could we get a motion for this, please?
Your Worship, I move that council approves the home-based business permit 2025.007 at 454 5th Street, subject to the conditions listed in the report.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. Any questions on this one? Hearing none. Call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. That's a lot of work. We got a lot of work done tonight, you guys. Feels good. Okay, listen, it's time for inquiries and announcements. Does anybody have one? Yes. We'll go here first because that one's going to take some time.
Mine's short and sweet, I promise. First of all, thank you to administration for getting back to me because I needed my memory jogged. But this is directed to Director of Engineering Cugnett. I understand that we signed a 3-year deal with Alberta Parking Lot Services in 2023 to do the line painting. But can you let me know and let the residents know when they hope to start?
Absolutely. So they will be starting June 2nd, and they will be working for about 14 days through the weekend, and should be done before our big events on June 14th, I believe. So it'll be good.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, Councillor Sidlowski.
Thank you, Your Worship. I would like to thank our youth mayor, Stadnick, for coming tonight. Jackson also is going to speak a little bit about his venture that their entrepreneurship class has put together for this year.
Thank you guys for having me. So this year I am co-president of our Entrepreneurship 30 class at the Weyburn Comprehensive School, and we have came up with the business of Clear Mind Clothing Co. And our business goal, or our business, I guess I should explain first, is selling these hoodies. So this is one of our 3 different hoodies that we offer. We have the colors light blue, which is this one, and this is a large. I guess I'll just throw it on.
I think you should. Yeah.
We also have black and then light gray as our other colors. Sorry. So this is a large. We order them online, and then we do all the heat pressing and everything like that ourselves. We print these off using a sublimation printer, and we do all the manufacturing and everything in-house. We have some social media accounts, and we will be having a website out shortly where you can order our clothing, and we deliver them, or you can come and pick them up. I have business cards I'll hand out to everyone here. I was going to do order forms, but I don't have that many on me, so I couldn't do that. But yeah, I'm the co-president. We have a 20-person team, and others involved is another co-president, Jared Hayward, and then we have vice presidents of each and every department. But yeah, I thought I'd kind of go over that. I can hand these all out after. Sure. I don't want to take.
Why don't you give the camera a shot of the...
Jackson, can you show the back and explain?
Yeah. The best thing you can do is be yourself.
So yeah, on the back of all of our hoodies, we have quotes. There's 3 different quotes. You can have any quote on any color. We have the one that I'm wearing. We have "Be proud of how hard you're trying," and we have "If you're reading this, you matter." So those are the 3 different quotes. We currently have 4 sponsors: York Jewelers, Surrey Valley Industries, Southern Range, and Stranger Danger Candy Co. And we thank all of our sponsors for helping us. I'd like to thank the Weyburn Comprehensive School for letting us use their appliances to make these, the heat presses and everything like that. But yeah, so the back of our hoodies have these messages because we're trying to promote positive mental health. We're also donating 10% of our profits at the end of the year to Canadian Mental Health Association. So yeah, we just hope that we can kind of help at least a little bit. Yeah. That's everything. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time.
Thanks, Jackson. And the hoodies are available to purchase for $50. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can encourage the community to support these guys.
So when it's time, we'll find on social media. You'll unveil the website and places where folks can order these, right? In due time, in the coming days.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of a sneak peek here tonight.
Yeah, we have order forms. We're kind of getting out there.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Councillor Morissette, I see you had your hand up.
I did. I know that this is a school-type project, so is there a deadline that people need to order by so that they can get their merchandise before you guys break for the summer?
So currently we don't have that date out. We will be dissolving our business near the end of June. We're hoping to still be accepting orders up until 2 weeks before we dissolve our company. It's really, we're just starting. We just started accepting orders today. Tonight was our first production night. I was there for a while. But yeah, we're just kind of really getting it started. We're hoping to keep up with the demand. We've had a lot of orders come in our first day, so that's exciting. But with only 2 heat presses, there's only so many that we can do. So we're just hoping to get them all done in time. But yeah, once we have our website out, I'm expecting a lot more orders. So we're kind of just trying to get ready for that right now.
So the message here is order quick.
Yeah.
Order quick.
Yeah. It's $50 for all sizes, all colors, everything. We don't have any price changes, just $50 if you want a small, medium, large, extra large. And we do, if you need an double XL or a extra small, you can talk to one of our business members and we'll try and accommodate for everyone.
So to be clear then, when Councillor Higgs wants a bulk purchase for all of City Council, he won't get a discount. He'll pay $50.
Yes, $50 per head.
Sure, then I understood that.
We currently we haven't offered any discounts and are not looking to.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. Please don't offer any discounts.
Making sure.
It's not buy 6 get 1 free.
That was more trying to see if we can get Councillor Higgs' wallet open before the end of the month. Was more what that was about. We'll see.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
It's a great initiative you guys do. We should be proud of our entrepreneurship class in this community. They have won plenty of awards. Oh, sorry, Richard, go ahead.
No, sorry, I just wanted to mention that our outdoor pool is going to open this Friday, May 16th, as long as the weather continues to cooperate with us. All parties have been working really hard to get it operational, so chlorine levels are up and temperature of the pool water is sufficient, so just waiting for the next few finalization steps to open that up to the public, and looks like we're on track.
That's great news. Thank you for that. That's great news. Yeah. Is that all? Oh, Councillor Bedore.
I wasn't able to attend, but I did see a lot of social media posts about the Waybex Awards, and that is these are leaders in our community all over, and just what makes Weyburn so great, and it's a nice way to celebrate winners and everybody that attended.
Yeah, well said. A couple of us did go. The MCs were a marked improvement from last time. Let's throw that out there. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was very good. All right. I think that's it. We'll call this adjourned. Thank you very much.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today